Not much of an inventory.
Don't mind all this crap on it. I keep all the good stuff in.
Should have paid, old man! You're altered. I didn't know.
Think I care?
He's about to show me the good stuff. He's just acting on orders.
Whose orders?
Barker, he runs the Hounds gang. He's trying to take out all the vendors in Rift Town. It won't work.
Worse pay.
So unlike those two guys who kicked the can a couple seconds ago, we're actually going to have a good day because, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to be bringing you guys some of my personal gameplay and impressions of Outriders. This is a brand new game, a brand new IP from our good friends over at Square Enix, developed by People Can Fly. They actually flew me out to LA, provided travel and accommodations, and I got to play the first 2 hours of the game in its entirety. I played the first 2 hours of the full game, which is something that is very rare these days, and they are also graciously sponsoring this video, so thank you to them. So Outriders, like I said, is a brand new IP. It is a third-person shooter. It is 1 to 3 players. You can either play it by yourself or alongside 2 other friends, and after about an hour or so into the game, you got a choice here. You got a pretty important choice that will stick with you throughout the rest of the game because you need to choose your class. And at the demo session, there was actually 3 of the 4 classes that you had to choose from. The Devastator class, the Trickster, and the one that I go with, which is the Pyromancer. The 4th one it's hidden right now. It is coming out, information on it is coming out at a later date, but I did decide to choose the Pyromancer because it just seemed like it was, I like red. Fire's my thing. It seemed like I would be a Pyromancer, so that is what I went with. This decision actually comes at a pretty important part of the game, so enjoy the cutscene and we'll catch up with you guys in a second. So, I don't know about you guys, but generally my day does not start off with pulling a rebar out of my chest as well as running around in UFC MMA style underwear. That's just me personally, and that's not exactly how this game begins either. So this is about an hour into the game. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I got to play the first 2 hours of the game, but only the second half was actually available for capture. So in the first half, you learned a lot of the backstory, who's who, a lot of the characters that you'll meet a little bit later, and then a lot of major weird shit happens. Then we kind of, I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but we kind of just, we do a jump, basically. So, like I said, this is a third-person RPG shooter. It is designed to be played by 1 to 3 players, so you can play it solo by yourself in the story-driven mode, which was actually, the story was pretty intriguing for me in terms of how everything played out. But you could also play with 2 of your friends as well, to up to 3 players. So it is centered around loot. So it is an RPG shooter, so there are loot mechanics in it. But they did tell us that there are no microtransactions whatsoever in the game, which was met with a lot of fanfare. So you will not be able to buy anything in the game. Everything that you find in the game, you will find by just shooting a lot of stuff, which is a breath of fresh air in the modern day of the video game industry. Not to have any sort of microtransactions is very nice. So the gameplay you guys are watching right now is actually PC footage. So I got to play the game at 4K resolution on a pretty decent PC rig, but I was actually only able to record at 1080p, 30 frames per second. But despite that, the game actually ran really smooth. Everything felt really fast, very snappy, and it just ran good, even though the game's still not coming out until a little bit later this year. So it's coming out on PC, on Steam, as well as current generation consoles, PlayStation 4, as well as Xbox One. But they actually also announced it's going to be coming on next-gen consoles as well. So the PlayStation 5 and whatever Xbox and Microsoft finalize the decision on what the next generation console is going to be called. So yeah, so you have the option of playing it on current as well as next-gen hardware as well. Alright, so now let's get into the nitty-gritty, the controversial, the real stuff, why you're here. So what does Outriders do that will separate itself from other loot-based RPG shooters that are on the market as of right now? So, in my experience, you're kind of on two different sides. Either the game is going to be highly militaristic, hyper-realistic, or you're on the complete other side where there's magic, warlocks, and just a bunch of stuff that you have no idea what's going on. With this game, it kind of marries the two sides. So you have the same militaristic items, weapons, assault rifles, hand cannons, snipers. It has that, still has that militaristic feel, which you'll figure out why once you play the game and learn more about the story. But you also have the sci-fi feel because obviously you're shooting fire out of your hands, like so, and people are exploding right in front of you. So you still have that sci-fi element as well. And actually, it marries the two sides fairly well. So the people in this game who have powers are called Altered. You'll find out why they have powers kinda at the beginning of the game once you actually play the full game when it does come out, or maybe when they release more information about it. And what you notice is actually, so one of the main mechanics that I noticed right away is that you do not automatically regenerate health in this game. So the only way that you are actually able to regenerate health is by using your powers. So you have to use your powers and shoot the people who affect them, and then that will trigger a little bit of health stimulation. So at the very beginning of this game right now, we actually only have one of the abilities unlocked. This is basically just to kind of get your feet wet, as I have more video, a lot more footage that I'm going to be showing you guys. I'm going to be showing you guys it in a linear fashion, start to finish, not kind of jump all over the place, just because I want you guys to kind of keep knowing exactly what's going on. And if I jump, things may get a little bit confusing. And what I also liked about this game is that the side quests that you actually are going to end up playing, or have the options of playing, are fairly fulfilling. They actually feel like they have a bit of a payout in terms of loot. Not only loot, but also in terms of adding to the narrative as well as the story, which is something that you don't always get when you talk about side quests in some video games. But you actually wanted to do the side quest, which is something that I think was really cool. And you also have different enemy types that you will encounter. So you have more of these larger, heavy armored enemies that you will find that take a little bit more bullets to take down. But what you'll also find is that you're gonna run into other Altered in the game as well, people who have powers just like you. And it's actually pretty cool because not only, well, obviously you run into pyromancers, you run into time-altering people who will actually teleport your physical character to a different side of the map. It just threw me off completely when I encountered it for the very first time. And it was just, the game did a good job of throwing some new different types at you. But this first video is just to kind of whet you guys' appetite. Like I said, I'm going to be bringing you guys probably at least another hour or so of gameplay. But this is basically just to whet your appetite. So yeah, this is the first episode. We have a cutscene coming out right now. So thank you guys for watching this first part. Once again, thank you for Square Enix for sponsoring this video. And if you guys want to learn more about Outriders, check out the link in the description.
I could smell the storm in your blood, your stink of Enoch. Your kind are abominations, exile.
Who the hell are you?
Outrider. Impossible. Such untapped power, such confusion. You want answers. Whatever you were before, you're something new now. A second life. Don't waste it.
Who was that?
Lord Seth? He's altered. And he's a little man. A little man.
Altered? What the fuck does that mean?
You... you don't know what you are. Where'd you steal that uniform?
Didn't, it's mine.
Yeah? If he's really an outrider, then you fight's on the wrong side. Altered.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, the Grand Marshal, she'll explain. Come.
What is that?
Go.
Do whatever you have to do, Lieutenant.
Shira?
You're alive.
I'm sorry to disappoint you.
You came from their side. You got any intel for us?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Look, I got a war to win, so either you help me, or you get back into cryo.
Hold on. I've just woken up to mud and shit. I've been asleep for God knows how many years.
31 years! So for 31 years, I've been seeing people fight and die while you were getting comfy in cryo. So excuse me for not throwing you a little welcome party.
What happened to you?
The anomaly! That's what happened.
You mean that storm?
We told them not to land. Anything more advanced than a grease engine that fried. All our data wiped out. Couldn't grow crops or make medicine, so we ended up in the same place as when we left Earth. Just killing each other over the little we have left.
Why didn't you go somewhere else? The Outriders could have...
The Outriders are dead.
What?
And the anomaly keeps us in this fucking valley. We can't go anywhere else. You don't get it, do you? You think you're dreaming. This is real. Believe me, it's fucking real. So whether you like it or not, you're stuck here in the mud and shit like the rest of us. You should have never woken up.
Why did I miss out on all this?
Grand Marshal, we were too late. The hounds have him. He's been taken underground.
Well, get him back.
Well, it may be our side, but that's not our turf, ma'am. I'm not losing people over Yakub.
Jacob. He's still alive?
Not too much longer, it seems.
Then I'll go find him.
Ma'am? Ma'am?
Never mind. We've got it covered.